4, 3, 2, 1, and go!
Oh, wow! Good for you!
Alright. No. Oh boy. No way I can jump that.
Well done,
Alright, thank you.
well done.
On Scotland's rugged east coast, play is helping people discover new ways to be active and find connection at every stage of life. Andrew Telfer and Jill Erskine, the founders of Nature Moves, started with a desire to make physical activity more welcoming and accessible.
Yeah, so when I first started working in the health and fitness industry, I started off doing sports and conditioning. So I used to work with, like professional hockey players and stuff like that. And it was always interesting, but I realized I was actually way more interested in just working with everyday people. And I got into things like CrossFit because I really liked the community feel. But the more and more time I spent there, I realized that you're only really working with people who are self-selecting, people who wanted to go to the gyms, to, do the CrossFit and things like that. So I was working in the NHS, during the height of COVID and everything, and I just realized I was spending most of my time just doing Excel spreadsheets and, most of my time just looking at numbers. And I kind of wanted to see if there's something that kind of bridged the gap between working with individuals in gyms and trying to do something that was more community-based and something that worked at a larger scale. And at this time, Jill, it was that time in COVID where you weren't allowed to go outside, or you're only allowed to go out for like an hour or two a day and meet somebody. So she had started these outdoor groups where people would meet up, and they would just do like a little workout in the woods with like a kettlebell or some rocks or whatever, and that's really where Wild Strong started.
I think a lot of us are not gym people. I don't have a background in physical education. I don't have a background in gyms and sports. I got to my teenage years and just didn't find a place for myself in any kind of sport. I'm not competitive really, and I think it took me until my sort of late 30s to realise that I was still allowed to have a go and participate. And I came into it while working with Andrew and sort of creating games, because I wasn't interested in going to the gym, but I knew that I needed to be moving more and getting stronger. And now working with more diverse populations, it's just watching people, I guess, take up space and realise that they can do it too.
As time went on, Andrew and Jill wondered how they could create opportunities for older adults who felt disconnected from traditional fitness environments.
But we still noticed that we were just getting people who were mostly in their 30s, people who were already active, people who were happy to run, or people who were coming out because their gym was closed. So we were trying to think, is there a way that we can open up to more people? And, at the time, we were really thinking about our own parents. As our parents were getting older, I was thinking, well, would I want to do this with my mom or my dad? And I was thinking, it's not really appropriate for most people. And the first time I set up a group that was specifically for older adults, as soon as they got out there, I had this nice little lesson plan of things we'd be doing. And I realized I was just going to have to throw out the whole lesson plan, because when you're working with people in their late 60s, 70s, 80s, you can't assume that anyone should be doing anything,
The answer was a program built around individual needs, where people could take part in a way that worked for them and feel comfortable from day one.
I was off work with ill health and had to retire. Through that, I have cardiac disease, but I was waiting on an operation getting done, and I was looking to really do something and fill my days and get out there and find something.
I've had a heart operation, and I thought this might be a way of keeping active, not being afraid of the situation.
But what it's given me is the confidence to be able to kneel after 2 knee replacements, and just the benefits I get from that.
And the benefits go far beyond physical recovery.
It was just made to feel so welcome. The exercises helped because I just felt like almost like I'd given up physically and mentally as well. And I think probably the biggest part for me was the way that you were just embraced into the class, supported. And also, I just feel like even on the coldest, wettest, dreariest days, it was good for your soul.
Both Andrew and Jill have that special way of just looking and observing, and in a very quiet way, making sure that you're comfortable. And you'll notice that in everything they say, you know, do it to how you feel and how comfortable you feel. So there's never this pressure to try and do anything.
They know, but just looking at you, what you can do. They give us a great variety of stuff to do, and they're just the ideal couple to do what they do. We get inspiration from both of them.
Foam swords might seem an unlikely coaching tool, but the playful activities they inspire help participants unlock movement in unexpected ways.
Oh, I love the sword fight. I love the sword fight, yeah.
And you have to watch Jean when it's a sword fight, because she's one of the oldest participants, but oh my goodness me, she's a winner, yeah.
So we made these swords for our kids a few years ago, and they absolutely loved them. And then I remember one day I hadn't really planned a session, and the weather wasn't great. I didn't want to get people down on the ground. So at the last minute, Jill's like, well, just bring the swords and see what happens. So I had this bag of swords, and I remember I laid them down, and I was really self-conscious about it. As we'll get people on either side of the field, and then they just sort of run at each other like something out of like Braveheart or out of a movie. And it's amazing because the first time we did it, I remember the very first time we did it, they started yelling, and I just didn't even think about it, and the people were roaring at each other. And you see it almost every single time. You'll see a group of, two groups of people that just run at each other yelling at the top of their lungs as they just like crash into battle and start hitting each other. And everyone just has a good time. It's amazing how much they enjoy it and how competitive they get in a good way.
After the battle comes the bonding. Coffee and cake provide the conduit to connection as the group puts the world to rights and gets to know each other a little better.
Yeah, we're invested in each other, absolutely, and we care about each other, even the ones of us that probably don't know each other as well. We would sit down with somebody we know one week, sit down with somebody we don't know the next week when we have coffee afterwards, and it's a real bonding. You know, there is a real sense of community, there's a lot of commonalities and a lot of differences, but it all comes together, and like you say, a real strength of community, really.
I think for me, it is spending time with people that maybe I wouldn't normally spend time with, particularly with the older group. Like, we don't have a huge amount of social crossover with them normally, and actually we learn so much from them, not just about what they're capable of, but we learn so much about the local area and about the history of Scotland and all of these different things, and it's great to be exposed to that. But then also, one of them said last week that it's like a second childhood. She just comes and has a lovely time for an hour, and it's just a real joy. It's a real joy to see them hold each other, particularly when they're going through difficult things in their life. Yeah, it's just a real joy to see the same faces every week, come rain or shine, and to hear their stories, and just to kind of have that shared piece of local community.
In all my many years, I don't think I've met two kinder people. You know, they're two very special people, and they don't come along often in life. And I just think that makes the classes what they are.